Today we are just going to discuss your PV system, and that is PV system operation and maintenance. That is the chapter number 11 according to our VTO syllabus from the reference textbook, that is your Jeff Stapleton and the Susan Neil. So till now whatever we have discussed is the what we can call it as the installation part, that is starting from your design to the installation, and after the installation, that is nothing but your commissioning of your PV system. Once the commissioning has been done, the next part, the important part which we have to take care is the operation, that is a PV system operation and the maintenance. Okay, that is a PV system operation and the maintenance. What we mean by this PV system operation and the maintenance? Of course, it is important to follow whatever they follow the system owner's manual and the manufacturer recommendation for the maintenance of the equipment. Okay, because we know that each and all the components which we people are using, that is it will be using for your minimum of 15 to 20 years. So we have to make sure that all those components, all those connections, all those wiring, everything has been working perfectly fine. For that, we have to maintain the whatever the manual which has been given by the manufacturer. With respect to those manuals, we have to check all our components and everything. Okay, and of course there are some simple maintenance tasks may be undertaken by the owner, but normally we will not just tell the maintenance to be done by the owner itself. It is better to done by a qualified PV technician itself. Okay, and many regions require testing of your electrical installations. Normally that is the PV system, of course, for a few years, and the installer should be familiar with the whatever the local regulations. Okay, and this, of course, this when the commissioning has been done, that is during the commissioning has been done by the what we can call it as the installer, then when he is handing over to the sub that is the when he is handing over to the person, that is nothing but the customer. Okay, there are some maintenance contract will be between the installer and the customer. Okay, by the person, by the company who has been installed the complete PV system, and with respect to the customer, and mutual understanding or a maintenance contract will be done for a few years. And of course the company will return for once or twice in a year to inspect and to test whether all the equipment is functioning properly or not. Okay, and of course these results of this inspections also has to be recorded, and it has to be maintained in a schedule, that is maintenance schedule, and of course in also in the logbook, that is the equipment logbook. Okay, and all those things will be provided, that is before the commissioning the system. In addition to this, maintenance contractors should keep a record of your service, that is the what we call it as a service and the repair work, and of course all the copy has to be maintained with the owner itself. And it is better to record, and good record keeping is essential in the PV industry, because the products used are covered for a long warranties. Okay, because the components what we people are using will be using for the long duration of a time, then of course a long warranty period will be there. So it has to maintain a good recording has to be maintained, that is good record keeping is essential in this PV industry. Okay, and then the most important aspect of the system maintenance is performance monitoring itself. That is the main important thing, is the performance monitoring, and of course which will ensure whether that is that when a problem arises, it can be identified and corrected before any serious damage takes place. Okay, that is a simple thing. If we can take an example, that is shading. Shading causes the hot spot which is damaging my the PVRAs itself. So all those things has to be taken care, and it will also give user records of year-round system performance, which will help the performance comparison in the future. Okay, which will help performance comparison, of course, with respect to the future also. coming to the next part is your PV array maintenance itself. That is the first thing, and which is the important thing here. And we have to take care the maintenance of your PV arrays. Of course, your PV arrays doesn't have any moving parts. So the operating period of this particular PV arrays will be of many years without any issues. But we have to take care, regular maintenance has to be done for your PV arrays, and that is the regular maintenance, which include the cleaning the modules. And of course, not only the cleaning the modules, we have to check with the mechanical and the electrical checks has to be done. Mechanical, that is nothing but if any damage has been happened for the structures for your PVRAs and all those things. And of course, with respect to the general, the wiring connections and all those things has to be checked oftenly. And it is recommended that the PV modules are maintained only by the suitable trained people, not by everyone of us. Okay, by not by a common person. It is better to check all those things by a trained person. But for cleaning your PV modules, it is not necessary a trained person is required. The customer themselves can clean our what we can call it as your PV modules. And for cleaning your PV modules, of course, it is a self-cleaning because if rain comes, any dirt or anything is there, it will be washed away. But if a buildup of dirt is there, or what we can call it as the bird droppings is there, or any leaves, all those things has to be cleaned. Okay, and for cleaning these things, that is, we cannot use any hard water. It is better to, it has been recommended to use the fresh water, that is the soft water, and with a small amount of what we can call it as a detergent or a soap. We cannot use any the acids or something to clean our DPV modules. And of course, if there is any accumulation of what we can call it as a snows or anything on our PV arrays, if it is a snowy areas, and those things has to be taken care for removing those particular snow and other things. Otherwise, we know, of course, we have to use your what we can call it as a standard, relevant to standard PV array systems for the snowy areas. But still, if for long term of time, if the snow is been accumulated on my PV array, and the owner can clean it. Of course, when you are cleaning, if it is on the rooftop, some proper measurement has to be taken so that for the dangers of working at the height. Okay, if it is at the height of, before attempting to clean, we have to take a proper measurement. And not only that, if it is means shaded, because once you are installing the PV arrays, it may not be shaded with your trees and anything else. And if there is any tree or anything means which has been later come up, so we have to make sure that all those things shading is has to be removed. Okay, and it may so happen that our the trees that maybe not be in our area, or it is not the tree which has been grown in our area, so it may be your neighbor trees also. So it is better to inform them before itself, that is when you people are installing your PV arrays, to inform them that if there is any means trees or something that which may come up in a future period of a time, so to remove all those things. Okay, yes. And not only with respect to those part, the maintenance undertaken by a qualified PV technician will normally include an inspection of the complete mounting structures for the any sign of what we can call it as the corrosion, or any there may be a mechanical failure also, and any attachment of to the roof should be inspected to ensure they are still watertight. Okay, and this is a simple figure which has been shown here. That is, the customer themselves is trying to clean their PVRAs with an help of your water and a small scrubbing brush. Okay, to remove your any markings on our solar PV arrays. And there are nowadays there are so many what we can call it as the inbuilt what we can call it as the monitoring system. That is, there are some LED displays and all those things which is available for your what we can call it as a monitoring system. So those monitoring systems which will help you in what we can call it as the maintenance of your PV arrays also. Okay. Yes. The first, the PV array maintenance, of course, has to be done by the PV technician itself, as I told you, with respect to the cabling part and everything, with respect to the mechanical structures and all those things. And it is a common practice to monitor your PV systems for a power output to degrade over a time also, because it will be working for many years, and when it has been commissioned and when after a few years there may be a degrade over a time, the power output may be degrade over a time. Okay, and those degrade power output degrade over a time has to be monitored, and if any proper measurement, if it is possible to take those measurements, has to be taken care. Okay, and in some cases, of course, the environment may also be measured, because we know that if I just take an example of our Bangalore itself, in the Bangalore comparatively 20 years before and the temperature now, it is a huge difference will be there. Okay, so that is when we are trying to install your PV arrays, and those at that particular time, the temperature and all those things will be considered, and now the temperature and the weather conditions will completely will be different. So it is not only we are trying to maintain our the PV arrays, and this is also helps a designer see a correlation between what we can call it as the environmental condition and the system yields. So here I'm just trying to show a simple example, or what we can call it as a recommended maintenance for your PV array. That is the what are the activities we have to do, and what is the frequency for that particular activity also. Okay, so starting from your cleaning the modules, and cleaning the modules, it depends upon the frequency, because it will not be same for throughout the year, and it will not be the same for the geographical conditions also. Okay, and then check the mechanical security of the array structures, checking the cabling and if there is any mechanical damage for the cablings, check the output voltage and current of each string of the array, and compare the expected output under the existing conditions, checking the electrical wiring for loose connections, and check the operation of your PV DC main disconnector or isolator, and only after AC main disconnector actually has been switched off. Okay, this is some of the recommendation which is means been given by the manufacturer for maintenance of your PV array. And here is one more example which we have taken, that is been recommended by the company, that is your Suntech Power. Okay, and this company is recommending, what is the recommendation they are doing, that of course clean the glass surface of the module as necessary with a soft water or a sponge and a mild non-abrasive cleaning agent. Okay, as I told you, we cannot use an hard abrasive cleaning agent, and of course we have to go for a mild abrasive. Okay, and then check the electrical and mechanical connections for every 6 months, then secure and that is clean, secure and undamaged, and if there any problem arises, have it investigated by a specialist itself, and observe the maintenance instruction for all the components used in the system, such as the support frames, charging regulators, inverters, batteries, etc. Okay, this is one of the example, and depends upon the geographical area and depend upon the structure and the place where the people are using. There may be the other instructions may be also been added or can be removed also. Okay, yes. Coming to the next part is the maintenance of your inverter. The maintenance of the inverter cannot be done by the customer itself, because it is the because it cannot be done by the customer itself. Better to any maintenance of your inverter to be done by a qualified technician. Okay, not by the customer itself. The maintenance in the sense that is any technical problem, if it is there with the maintenance, that is with the inverter, and those maintenance has to be done by the technical person itself. And general maintenance can be done by the customer. What are these general maintenance? What is necessary for the inverter? That is cleaning the unit, of course, means if there is any, that is the housing and any air vent should be cleaned with when it is required, and make sure that there is no invaded by any insects or any some spiders and all those things, and ensuring with the electrical connections with the clean, and that is whether the area has been completely clean, and of course the checking the operation of the inverter. And nowadays the inverter, as we have told you, that is inverters will come with what we call it as a data monitoring systems, and those systems will be having so many LED panels and all those things, touch screen and all those things, which can be maintained by the or monitored by the customer itself. Okay, so those things can be monitored, and all those things data will be recorded in the system logbook itself. It is better to record all those things in the system logbook. And inverter maintenance and repair should only be carried out by a special qualified technician and not by your owners. Yes. And as we are discussing here, that is maintenance of individual components, not only the individual components, the complete above maintenance checks relate to the individual component of the system. From them to work as system, they need to be interconnected by your cables. So it is therefore essentially during any equipment maintenance that the whole system should be visually checked to ensure that there is no potential threat. Okay, and there is no the whether there is a safe operation is taking place, and this involves, what are the things it is involving? It is involving inspecting and testing every component, including your isolators, circuit breakers, the combiner boxes, the inverters, and the DC and the AC wirings. Each and everything has to be checked, and of course once it is being checked and all those things, how to troubleshoot or how to come up with the solution that is for your the what we can call it as your complete PV system. Okay, and those things what we are calling here it as a troubleshooting. And of course troubleshooting, that is a well designed and well established PV grid connected system should have fault free operations for many years, but we cannot assure that those things will be working 100% fine without any fault or something. Problems may occur. Okay, and if that system is not working properly, or if there is any problem, there are the problem may occur because one or the other reason. And what may be the reason? Either a piece of equipment is faulty, or there may be a grid problem itself. If the equipment whatever has been supplied or been connected in our system, if it is faulty, then we cannot assure that the complete PV system is working for many years. Okay, and the second part, the cause of the problem may be discovered, and of course it can be fixed also. Okay, the problem can be identified. If the problem is identified, of course I can fix that particular problem. And troubleshooting should only be undertaken by, of course, by a qualified PV technician, as it is a risk factor, that is involves a risk, such as we may be working under the very high voltage at maybe at a particular heights also, if it is a rooftop type of your installation. Okay, and before getting into the trouble, that is identify the problem, that is we have to means troubleshooting, we have to identify what the problem which has been arised. And for the identifying the problem, the problem may be in anywhere for that matter. Okay, so by monitoring the system performance, a system owner will notice that the system is not working, or it may be a working that is underperformance. That is what we call it as the system may be working, but the performance is not up to the mark. Okay, if that is the case, what are the precautions or what are the inspections has to be done by the customer or by a trained person? Okay, all those things, then the owner should contact the installer who should visit the site. If we are facing any problem or something like that, then the owner has to contact the installer, okay, or the maintenance person, that is the contract for whom we are given for maintaining your PV system. Yes. The first thing, if there is no AC power from the grid, okay, that is, if there is no AC power from the grid itself, okay, then the system must be systematically checked all the way back to the point of supply to find the fault. And of course, this involves measuring whether AC voltage is present or not. How to check out whether the AC voltage is present or not? We have to check at the meters on the inverter side, and of course followed by the supply side of the array, the AC main disconnector isolator, okay, then at the point of the attachment to the grid supply, okay. So we have to check if there is no AC power from the grid, then we have to check all those things starting from the meters, then the inverters, then the supply side of the array, AC mains, then at the point of the attachment to the grid supply. All those things has to be checked, and if there appears no fault at the inverter and the AC power is connected back to the inverter, then the array should be investigated, okay. If there is no problem from the AC power side, then what we have to do, then we have to check from the array, that is array nothing but from the troubleshooting, we have to troubleshoot my PV arrays itself, that is the next part, okay. Troubleshooting your PV arrays. What are the troubleshooting we have to do with the PV arrays? Of course, your PV array, which comes under the DC side of the inverter, that is connection before the inverters, okay, that is from the PV arrays up to the inverter, we know that is completely a DC side, okay, and those things has to be checked, okay, and this process varies depending upon the configuration of the system also, okay. And here what we are taken is, here we are assuming that there is a PV combiner box between the array and the DC main, okay, or nothing but your DC disconnector or a isolator. In this example, we are considering that the process, there is a PV combiner box which is present, okay, and if the fault appears to be on the DC side of the inverter, okay, if the fault appears to be on the DC side of the inverter, what we have to do, okay, the problem cause is that either the inverter is not receiving sufficient power from the array, okay. If the inverter is not receiving a sufficient power from the array, then of course your inverter will goes to the off condition, okay, or it may be under performance condition, okay. If it is under performance, that is nothing but what I have to check with my PV arrays itself, okay. And at that particular case, any electrical service or maintenance work carried out at a PV array must be done by suitably qualified personnel itself. So if we are not getting a sufficient amount of a power from the PV arrays from the DC side, we have to make sure that the troubleshooting has to be done from the PV arrays itself. Then, if it appears that there is a fault on the DC side of the array, okay, if it appears that is a fault on the DC side of the array, what is the first task we have to make? The first task is to measure the PV array, that is measure the PV array, that is nothing but an open circuit voltage at both the input terminals of the inverter, and to confirm that the DC power is reaching the inverter. What is the first thing is, we have to measure the open circuit voltage at the input terminals of the inverter. And of course, if there is no DC voltage at the inverter, what we have to do first to check whether the DC main, that is the isolator, is operating. If that particular isolator is not operating properly, you have to check with, or then with the fuses also, if fuses is present or that is nothing but closed, and whether it is operational. If there is no DC voltage at the PV combiner box, then the fault is within the array itself. If everything is fine, if the isolator is working fine, if the fuses are working fine, then the problem will be with the array itself. And when there is a problem with the array, then the one or the other array maybe have been failed, okay. So we have to first check with your ACs, then we have to check with your DC part. To check with your DC part, of course, we have to check with your DC isolators, the connector, the fuses, and everything by measuring the output voltage and all those things. Then if there is no problem with your DCI part, that is your isolators or disconnectors, the fuses and all those things. Then we have to check with your that is the combiner boxes. If there is no fault with the combiner boxes, then the problem will be with respect to my arrays itself. That is, one or the other array maybe have been failed. Okay, and how to check, that is troubleshooting your PV arrays, that is with respect to the PV arrays. The possible causes of a strings malfunctions can include what? A cable disconnection or a plugging failure. If any one of the plug is been unplugged, or if there is a failure with the connection, then we have to check with the first thing, we have to check with the cable connection itself, or a loose connection within the PV combiner boxes also. If there is any loose connection with the PV combiner boxes, we have to check. Then a failed or a broken module. The first thing is the mechanical thing, that is the which can be seen for with the normalize itself, that is observing the PV arrays properly, starting from your cabling and everything. Okay, we have to check if there is any problem with the malfunctioning of your PV arrays. Then the actual fault may only be found by physically checking the cables and individual models and taking current and the voltage measurement. Zero current indicates there is a fault. Okay, yes, if there is a fault, then what we have to do, that is what we can call it as a troubleshooting the underperforming systems. How to troubleshoot your underperforming systems? Yes, in continuation with your troubleshooting your underperforming systems, the underperforming system, that is nothing but visual inspection has to be made. That is a visual inspection of the complete system for shading, then with any, or maybe with respect to any of the damage which can be seen for visually itself. Then a measurement of the current from the array, of course using your what we call it as a clamp meters, we can check. Then for the shading, the main thing is for the shading, if there is any problem with the shading. And then what if there is a shading, what are the proper measurements we have to take for those shadings. And if there are a multiple strings, each one should be turned off systematically for measuring all those things. Then if one of the string is not providing power, then there will be no change in the current, that is when that string is turned off. Okay, once the faulty string has been identified, the circuit breakers or the fuses should be checked for the failures. If they are not failed and they remain, that then we can continue, that is we can check for the undertaking the what we can call it as fault finding on the PV arrays. So we have to check for the shading, that is nothing but the complete visual inspection has to be done. Okay, and of course, what are the things that is the troubleshooting when it comes to the inverters? Of course, the inverters which will be acting from your DC part, and that is nothing but your inverters is being connected for both the sides. So that is, one is your DC voltage side, the other part is your AC voltage sides. If there is any problem with respect to the DC voltage, then we have to monitor starting from your PV arrays to the combiner boxes, fuses, and all those things. And if there is any problem with respect to the AC part, of course, from the grid to the AC connections, that is to the output of the inverters, all those things has to be checked. And what are the common problems which can be arises, which can be happening in my what we call it as a inverters? Okay, of course, the manual will be given with what we can call it as with the inverters. Okay, with the help of those manuals, I can check for your problem with respect to the inverters. Okay, and what are that is the common problem which are being faced with respect to the inverters? That is, the first one is the grid voltage is too high or too low. If there is a grid voltage is too high or too low, then there may be a problem for my inverters also. Also, this indicates a fault with the grid itself, not with the manufacturer, not with the manufacturer or any other part. That is a fault with the grid itself. And so we have to contact the electricity distributor. Okay, we can, if there is any problem with the grid voltage, if it is too high or too low, then we have to contact with the electricity distributor itself. Then the next one is grid frequency is out of range. If there is a grid frequency is out of range, once again that is a problem with the electricity distributor itself. So once again we have to contact the electricity distributor if there is any problem with the frequency, that is a grid frequency. Then the third one is if there is a DC voltage from the array is too low. Okay, the DC voltage from the array is too low. That is nothing but the problem with the array itself. So we have to make sure that troubleshooting has to be done starting from the array itself. So I have to maintain or require troubleshooting has been done for the array. Or if the DC voltage is too low, too high. If the DC voltage is too high, then there may be a problem with what? It may be a problem that from the array itself, or the array should be immediately, we have to disconnect. We have to disconnect the array immediately to the inverter, so it will not damage my inverter. Okay, so yes, if the DC voltage is too high, immediately make sure that I have to disconnect my array from the inverter. Yes, the next one is if the line impedance is too high. If the line impedance is too high, then connections on the AC side should be checked. Okay, is there any loose connections or something like that? I have to check for the connections from the AC side. If the problem is continuing, then what we have to do? Then it may be having means something to do with the grid. And once again, we have to contact the distributor, that electricity distributor itself. Then the last one is earth leakage current is too high. What do we mean by that? If the earth leakage current is too high, that is especially this case will arise only for the transformer less inverters. Okay, this problem will not be there for your transformer inverter. It is only for the transformer less type of your inverters. So we have to take care of your earth leakage currents also. Okay, yes. With these things, there may be some other problems also. What are the other common problems which we people may face with respect to the what we call it as the troubleshooting of your system, the PVRA system? Okay, what are the common problems we can face? The other common problems with the PV arrays outside the technical issues, outside these technical categories, include the first one is a client's unrealistic expectation of their system performance. Okay, so see, once that is when the client may be having wrong assumptions or a wrong what we call it as an inputs from the installer. Okay, so if the client has been given a wrong information, or if he is expecting too much from the PVRAs or all those things, then the problem may be arised. Okay, so it will be depending upon how you people or the installer, the PVRA installer, how he has given information to the customer. That is very much important. Okay, yes, and that is with the lack of your communication with the client and the customer, that is important. Okay, and this problem can also occur when the system designer has made an error. Okay, and made an error and not appropriately accounted for all the system losses. Okay, hence I don't want to go for an overestimation has to be not be done. It means if you've done any overestimation and all those things when the designing part, so there may be a problem also. Okay, not only with the overestimation, next comes your poor design also. That is when we are trying to set up, when we are trying to install, or when we are trying to design it, the poor system design is also a major cause of the failure of your PV system. Okay, so when we are trying to design it, it is design part has not been done by one or the other person. Better to take a design from many people. Okay, so starting from the correctly sized inverters. Okay, and the designing for your PVRA with respect to the producing of proper amount of a voltage or a current. Okay, with respect to its output, input and output windows, and and forcing the inverter to shut down or to disconnect from the grid. Okay, those problems may arise when we are not done the proper designing. Okay, and if you are not done a proper designing, which may involve what we can call it as the purchasing or the purchase of replacement of the components also. Okay, so it may be a burden for the customer at the end. So the proper designing is very much necessary. So it's better to go with a good people for what we can call it as setuping up of your PV installation. Okay, yes. And what are the other problems which may be there if the system is still continuing with the underperformance with the help of your poor system design? We have to make sure that once again know the designing part, and if you have to install one or more what we can call it as a PV arrays or all those things, so we have to make a proper arrangement of all these things. That is maybe to install the PV arrays or to go with your proper type of your inverters which has to be taken care starting. It may be with respect to the problem with the cabling also. Okay, and over voltage is a serious fault that can damage my inverters, so all those things has to be taken care. Yeah, the inverter and the PV module specifications must be confirmed ahead of time to avoid all those problems. Okay, then unstable grids may also cause a system failure. The unstable grids, that is nothing but it will not be a problem with respect to the what we can call it as a metropolitan cities, but it may be a problem with respect to the hilly or rural areas, especially in our country. Okay, so if there's an unstable grid, then we have to take care for your or the maintenance of your what we can call it as your PV array system. Okay, the electricity utility managing the local grid should be contacted if there is any problem with respect to your unstable grids. Okay, so these are the troubleshooting things which we are the maintenance things which we have to do for your PV system regularly.